Assalamu alaikum, namaste, sat sri akal, shalom and good day. You are listening to Awaaz Community Radio. And today your host will be Saira and your guest will be PCSO Pete. I think the guest was given away by our choice of music today, possibly. So, if you want to get some more information from us, you can email us. Just email awaazcommunityradio@gmail.com. You can log on to our website, www.awaazcommunityradio.com. You can call us on 0161 839 9817. We're on Facebook, just type in Awaaz Community Radio or tweet us, Awaaz Radio 122. Thank you for listening to Awaaz Community Radio. And as I said, listeners, we have PCSO Pete back in the studio. Hi, Pete.
Hello, Saira.
It's great to have you back in.
Thanks for inviting me.
How have you been at the moment?
Oh, good. Pretty busy.
Pretty busy, especially with Christmas.
Yeah, the run up to Christmas is always a busier time.
Always a busy time. So can you give us a bit of a recap in policing terms, how 2014's been?
Yeah, the year started pretty badly, really, in Cheetham Hill. We had some problem where we had robberies, really more violent burglary than anything, where people were having their homes entered while they were still in them. And, happily, we're very pleased to be able to tell you that someone's been locked up now for those things, and they're in court in January, and we're hoping they're going to get a lengthy sentence.
That's great. Thank you so much for that update. Now, can you give us some advice to our listeners about how to keep our homes safer this Christmas? Keep those burglars away.
Yeah, one of the things that, besides the obvious of making sure that you keep your windows and doors locked, one of the things that I did raise last year was about when you get presents at Christmas. Sometimes we tend to get things that are electronic these days and things that are easily sellable. Things I'm referring to are TV sets, computer systems, mobile phones, all these type of notebook things, and they all come in packages. And what we tend to do, being very excited at Christmas, is we rip open the packages, get to what we want, throw the packages in the garden at the side of the bin for the dustman to come and get them. What I'm asking people to do is just be a little bit vigilant, because a few years ago we had a situation where actual burglars or would-be burglars were going round and they were specifically targeting houses that had boxes outside that had previously contained TVs and computers and such like. They were then going back a few days later, having noted which houses these were outside, and they were going back and burgling them and taking away the presents you've been given at Christmas time. So basically what I'm asking is that if you would try to think when you do open your presents, I know it's an exciting time, try to find somewhere in your home where you can put them until the actual day that the bin man arrives. And when that day comes, put them outside then. They'll only be outside for a couple of hours. They won't be outside for up to 7 days.
Do you know what you just said? It sounds just like common sense, really, doesn't it? And I think we've all been guilty of, as soon as we've opened our new presents, and especially if it's electrical even, and we wanted to put the boxes away. We don't want the boxes inside. Sometimes the kids rip them to pieces and so on. And we have put them outside without realising that we're advertising ourselves to burglars. So that's a really great point you've made. It's a small thing, but it can make all the difference. Yeah,
and it needn't spoil your Christmas, because, you don't have to have them sat in the front room. You can find everyone has a part of the house where a cupboard under the stairs or a back bedroom or someplace where you can just put them until it's time for the dustman to arrive. Also, on the same theme, I think it's important to realise that speaking on the same theme, it's important to realise that these thieves will also go through your dustbins and they will also look for smaller packages, things perhaps that a mobile phone has been in, and it's the same thing. Don't just put it in your dustbin. Leave it until the day the bin man comes, and then put it out.
So also, I believe you've got advice for us about using ATMs, specifically the ATM which is in Cheetham Hill and quite, well used as it's a central one.
Yeah, during the summer we had an issue where there's an ATM at the HSBC Bank, and this is on the junction of Cheetham Hill Road and Allywell Lane, and many people who pass in a vehicle will know this bank. It's right on the corner. People who live in the area will certainly know it. People were getting the cash from the bank and walking down Halliwell Lane towards the vehicle where most of the vehicles are parked, and there was a couple of unscrupulous people who were actually robbing them and taking the money from them, either out of a handbag or literally out of the hand. I've had a meeting with the management at the HSBC Bank on Cheetham Hill Road, and they are now advising everyone who takes sums of money out of the bank to put it in a front pants pocket if they've got one, and rather not to keep it in a bag. If you must put it in a bag, there is a way of wearing your bag, and that is because a lot of the handbags that we have now and the shoulder bags, particular shoulder bags, they have very long straps. If you put the strap, rather than having it on your shoulder, put it over your head so that it's worn rather like the old school bag type of bag that we used to have. And if you can do that and also walk with it facing a wall or a fence, because many of the people who snatch bags snatch them from passing cycles, and they'll be on cycles, not usually motorcycles, but although it has happened in the past, it's usually cycles that they'll ride down the pavement and they'll just snatch the bag off you. If you wear it over your head, this can't be done. And also, a zip can't be opened if the bag is against a wall or against a fence or against a hedge. So keep it away from the roadside.
It's also interesting to point out about handbags being left in cars, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah. The thing is, when handbags are left in cars, it's like anything else being left in cars. It's like a coat being left in a car, or anything else for that matter. The thief may not realise what's in the handbag. There may be nothing in the handbag that's of any use, but that won't stop a thief going for it. So not only will you have a handbag to pay for, you may have what's in the handbag to pay for. It may not be money or cards or anything like that. It may be something personal to yourself that you don't want to lose. So you're going to lose that, you're going to lose your handbag, and you're also going to have to pay for the windows to be repaired after they've broken it. The only answer is remove everything from sight when you leave your car. A thief will look in your car, and if the thief sees nothing worth stealing, he will not steal it. He will not go to your car. He'll go to another car. So my advice is get everything in the boot of the vehicle. Also, while I'm on the subject of handbags, it's not just handbags that get taken from vehicles. It's also satellite navigation systems. And the satellite navigation systems I'm referring to are the ones you put usually on your window or on your dashboard. What tends to happen with those is we've got a lot of vehicles that we've had to attend in the past where it could have been avoided. They've just been taken from the actual vehicle. Take the sat nav off, put it in the boot, and also so that the thief doesn't realise you've got something in your boot. Often what these satellite navigation systems do is they leave a ring, a residue where they've been on the windscreen. All it takes is a wet wipe or an handkerchief or something just to wipe that away, and then the thief will look at that and think, no, there's not going to be anything in here. That's a way basically of stopping that from happening. This has happened quite a lot recently in the Strangeways area, and particularly coming up towards Christmas time when there's lots of Christmas shows going on at the MEN Arena or the Phones for You Arena or whatever it's called at the moment. We do tend to get a lot of traffic coming both from Manchester and outside Manchester. Again, just remove everything of any value from your vehicle, and it'll help you to enjoy your night. You won't come back to a smashed window and a policeman waiting by your car to tell you what's happened.
I guess a lot of people need to be aware, especially because thieves will be targeting those who are looking to get to the Christmas markets, and they seem a lot busier this year as well, the Christmas markets. And you're giving good advice for people who are using Manchester Fort, because there's free parking there, and people are rushing about, aren't they? They've got the parking space, which can take so long to find, but then they're rushing out, perhaps forgetting about the fact they've left some shopping on the seat, or they've left the sat nav in the car.
Yeah, and this does happen. I mean, Christmas is quite it's an exciting time for a lot of people. It's also a very busy time. It's a time when you've got other things on your mind, and I think really the thing that's sort of most prevalent in my mind is leaving things in your vehicle. It's what everyone does. I've done it in the past, and sometimes you can see a bag left on a seat. It makes me really angry sometimes when I'm walking around places like the Manchester Fort Retail Park and I'll see an handbag left on the seat of a car. It's basically just saying, please steal me. And again, it's not there's just the handbag that goes, it's the damage to the vehicle as well. Another thing about being on places like Manchester Fort and also the Christmas markets is pickpockets. Pickpockets don't look like Fagin or the Artful Dodger. They actually look just like me and you, and they won't just stick their hand in your pocket. There's a system to how they work, and they often work in twos. One person will bump into you, albeit looking like it's accidental, while they're apologising to you, while they're saying sorry or shaking your hand or whatever. Somebody else is going into your bag or your pocket. So just be very careful of people, how close you get to people. I know it's a very busy time, but people are out there looking to take your money from you.
And like you say, pickpockets don't look like anything out of Oliver. And perhaps I watched it too many times, but I've got very wary of ever putting my wallet in my back pocket of my jeans. And I still see it. I still see a lot of people having wallets in the back pockets. And to me, that feels very obvious not to do that. But like you say, it's people are rushing about, got a lot on their minds, and it just takes a couple of minutes, doesn't it? Like with the car situation, it just takes a couple of minutes to think, have a look around, and be more self-aware.
Yeah, it does, and it's not something that we're trained to do, but it's something that you must do. And what you're saying about the back pocket, Saira, is very true. You've not got eyes in the back of your head. You can't see your back pocket, so why put something in your back pocket? Put something in your front pocket, because if you're going to use your front pockets of your jeans or your whatever other pants you've got, or any other type of clothing that's got a pocket in the front, you will feel someone go into that pocket with their hand. You wouldn't in a back pocket. It's so much easier to take something from a back pocket than a front pocket.
So would you say it's better to put it in your front pocket rather than an inside coat pocket?
Absolutely, yeah. Inside coat pockets are really, they're a dream for pickpockets. They love it because they can just bump into you and put their hand straight into that pocket, and it does really look like an accident, but it's very, very, very professionally done, really.
And it's really good advice given the fact, well, as I said, the Christmas markets are on, and there's been changes this year. There's a lot on Market Street, because of other train works going on, the tram works around Victoria railway station, and people are packed together a lot more than they have been in previous years. But like you said, locally as well, Manchester Fort, people are packed together trying to get shopping done. So please be aware of these pickpockets who, like you say, Pete, they're professionals. They know what they're doing. They're looking for people.
Yeah, and they're not stupid. They know that people have got other things on their mind at this time of the year. They know you're trying to get from one shop to another. They know that what you've got in your mind isn't looking after your money. It's thinking what you're going to buy a certain person for Christmas. They're looking for your money. They haven't got anything else to think about. Another thing that we had last year, around about this time last year, we had a really big spike in mobile phone thefts. I'm happy to say that that's not happened this year. In the run up to Christmas last year, there was a real lot of phone thefts, particularly in the Waterloo Road area of Cheetham, which was targeted by thieves and robbers. What happened was there were people using the mobile phones while they were walking down the road at night. Quite a normal thing to do. After all, it is a mobile phone. But these people were aware that while you're on your mobile phone, you're not really concentrating on what's going on around you. You're concentrating on who you're speaking to. And even worse than that, there was a lot of people who had the sort of iPhones with the little headphones in and listening to music. Well, this is happening. You can't hear anything that's going on around you. And there was such a lot of phones stolen. Someone has been arrested for those thefts, and they're currently being dealt with through the justice system. And as a result, some of these phone thefts have now gone down considerably. However, I would say that, what you've got here is something that's worth around £500, and you wouldn't walk down the street waving £500 around. So, just don't have your phone on display. Unless you absolutely need that phone, keep it in your pocket until you get to somewhere where you know you're going to be very safe.
Driving home for Christmas with 1,000 memories. I take a look at the driver next to me.
Thank you for that, Pete. Now, perhaps to talk a little bit about loan sharks, and this is a time of year where people, and I think it's happening more and more every year, where there's a lot of pressure on people to get really great presents for their family, their children, their friends, and we can't always afford to meet the demands that, well, perhaps it's the media, perhaps it's the consumerism that we're facing at the moment. What kind of advice do you have, Pete, for those who are falling into debt, struggling with money to pay for Christmas?
It's a tricky one, really, because I'm by no means an expert when it comes to loan sharks. But what I would say is that it is the common sense route, I would think, is to go to a reputable lender. I would go to someone like a bank or a finance company, maybe someone who advertises on TV, because you simply, if you're a loan shark, and a loan shark basically is someone who takes advantage of you by lending you money when you're in a really bad way, and then puts a lot of interest onto that money, astronomical interest onto the money that they've lent you. And sometimes if you can't pay back, the consequences can be quite horrific, to be honest, and can even come to violence. So I think that the message I would give today is to just always go to a reputable lender. Go to someone who is licensed by the government, as all people, like all banks, all finance companies have to be licensed by the government. Don't go to a friend of a friend or somebody that someone else has used that you don't know. Check them out. Make sure that they've got the correct documentation and the correct, how can I put it, the correct procedures in place to be lending money. And in other words, make sure they're reputable lenders.
Spirit falls again, fill up the stocking. I may be brushing things, but deck the halls again now. For we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols
been brilliant, Pete. Thank you so much for coming into the studio and, you know, giving our listeners some advice to try and keep them and their families and their homes safer this Christmas.
Well, I'm glad I could be of some help. I think with what I tend to do this morning, I've probably given you quite a scary sort of outlook. It's not like that. Crime in Cheetah Mill is reducing. It's reduced by a lot last year. I think car crime was down about 40%. All crime was down collectively about 30%. So we're doing our best. We're chipping away at it, and I think, you know, it's getting to be a really nice place to live again. So please don't be alarmed by anything that may have happened in the past, or that any of the advice given today. It's all put there to make you feel safer and to give you some tips to make yourself safer. All I could do really now, Saira, is to wish yourselves and your listeners a happy Christmas.
Thank you very much, Pete, and wish you guys as well, all the PCSOs and all PCs, a very Merry Christmas. So what are your plans this Christmas? What are you guys up to?
Well, it's going to be a bit of a quiet Christmas for me personally, because I've just recently got a new puppy that's wearing me out.
Are you thinking it's going to be quiet with the new puppy?
Well, it's it's going to be quiet in terms of I don't think I'm going to be seen very much, because this thing is absolutely running me mad at the moment. It's called Biscuit, and it's now coming up to 5 months old, a Labradoodle, and likes to chew everything and likes to just get up to as much mischief as possible. So I think part of my Christmas is going to be spent with that one.
Well, you know, I hope you have a great time, and I think it's lovely because Biscuit won't be a puppy this time next year, so really enjoy this time that you have while he's so little. Oh, bless. Well, for myself, we'll be spending it, I think, just in front of the TV in our PJs, watching lots of Christmas movies and eating lots of chocolates, I think.
That sounds great.
I'm planning not to move very much, so it's been a hectic year. It's been a great year. So, yeah, I think Christmas is a good time for everyone to catch up with family and friends and to relax and enjoy. So, thank you very much again, Pete, for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I hope, I'm sure actually our listeners have got a lot out of this show, and I look forward to hearing the feedback and passing it on to you, Pete.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much for listening, listeners. If you'd like to get in touch with us with the feedback, our number is 0161 839 9817. You can get in touch with us via Facebook. Just type in Awaaz Community Radio or tweet us, Awaaz Radio 122. Have a very merry and safe Christmas.